The old line firms. Old line firms are firms that often were started in the 1930s. They are generally value fixed income shops and focus on capital preservation. They will have a mix of old money, very high net worth clients and local institutions. Their hiring process. Old line firms hire at top 10 MBA programs. Occasionally, they may also hire laterals from other firms. Their pros and cons. Pros. They have exit opportunities both at graduate schools and within the industry. They have superior access to companies and sell-side analysts. They have a good pay and they have stable firms, positive cultures. Their cons. They have bureaucracy and the firm strategy philosophy may not appeal to you. And the firm expects you to stay with them for many years and structures pay and advancement accordingly. The universities, foundations, and pension plans. These are tax-exempt pools of money. In most cases, the great majority of assets are outsourced to various outside top firms. The investment staff of these institutions select and monitor these outside managers. Small portions of the asset can be managed internally. Their hiring process. The top-tier institutions prefer to hire MBA graduates who have spent a number of years at a premier buy-side or sell-side firm but who would like to reduce their work hours. Universities, foundations, and pension plans, pros and cons. They have exit opportunities both at graduate schools and within the industry. They have a high job security, they have great benefits, and they have less stressful environment and culture. Their cons, they have bureaucracy, their focus is on asset allocation and monitoring, not in-house management. They have relatively low pay and difficult to get active management jumps because of lack of experience. The insurance companies. Insurance companies often manage extraordinarily large sums of money and are the largest asset managers in the UK. This money is derived from policy payments and set aside against potential claims. Insurance companies have historically invested mainly in high-grade fixed income instruments. Their hiring process. Insurance companies generally hire investment staff from local universities. Historically, insurance companies have been unable to attract many candidates from top university MBA programs. Insurance firms will hire at both at MBA and BA levels. Insurance companies pros and cons. Pros. They have high job security. They have great benefits. They have less stressful environment and culture. They are willing to hire non-IB candidates. And they have good learning environment. Their cons. They have bureaucracy. Their focus is on high-grade fixed income. They have a low pay. They have low prestige. And they have extremely conservative investment styles. Let's now have the hedge funds. 5 years ago, obtaining a job at a hedge fund would have required navigating through a labyrinth of networks and connections to meet the right people. However, as hedge funds have become much larger, recruiting has become more formal and closely tracks a similar process to retail funds and investment advisory firms. Hedge funds jobs are not necessarily more prestigious other than opportunities available. More importantly, the industry generally does not truly distinguish between a hedge fund specializing in, say, energy and a mutual fund that does so. Each fund will be judged according to performance, size, reputation, and quality of personnel. Let's now see if this firm is right for you. Unlike most other industries, the investment management industry encompasses literally thousands of firms, most of which either do not advertise themselves or are even legally barred from doing so. Much of the time you are dealing with a job search in which your potential future employers are unknown entities to you. So what sources and criteria should you use when evaluating a potential employer? First, Take a look at the firm website and staff bios. One of the most helpful portions of an investment management firm's website is the staff profiles. This is the premier consideration in evaluating a firm. If the staff are good, you will likely have, at minimum, a reasonable experience there. If the staff are weak or poor, you will likely have a subpar experience there. How to evaluate staff profiles? Two things to look at are the staff experience and education. At minimum, all principals should have significant experience at top, recognizable buy-side or sell-side operations. Also, most or all of the principals should have degrees from top universities. If some of the principals have non-buy-side experience, it should be a recognized company or institution. Most of the firm's analysts should have similar backgrounds and true, obviously less experience in terms of years and positions held. You should be aware of the warning signs. First, none of the principals has significant experience at a top firm. Second, none of their principals has a graduate degree from a top university. Third, analysts have weak academic and work backgrounds. No full analyst should have less than 3 years experience. Fourth, any signs of nepotism. Fifth, list of degrees from unrecognizable universities and work experience at unrecognizable firms. And last, missing periods in bios. And second, take a look at assets under management. If the firm's website does not tell you how much money the firm manages, this information should be obtainable from the internet. For a hedge fund, $150 million under management is good general mark of a fund with a healthy amount of money under management. For regular buy-side firms, firms with significantly less than $300 million should be viewed cautiously. The insurance companies. Insurance companies often manage extraordinarily large sums of money and are the largest asset managers in the UK. This money is derived from policy payments and set aside against potential claims. Insurance companies have historically invested mainly in high-grade fixed income instruments. The remaining potential client bases are retail and high net worth investors. Those with retail investment clientele run retail funds. Those that cater to high net worth individuals run individual accounts. You should target firms that best fit your ideal working environment. The best resources for learning this information are company websites and through networking with employees from the respective firms.